And there it goes, guys. There goes the start to the doubles race. You see the bow men are already in the boat. The stern men are pushing. And look at that Cape May stern man.
Just jumping right in.
Wildwood stern man, yes.
Yeah, you'll see the stern man. Some people like to push it out a little bit more and stay in the water. Just that's preference, I guess. And also you got to read the water as well. Since it's pretty flat today, I know some people were trying to get a little bit more leverage as they're like in the water before they pop into the boat. But, you know, the deeper you get, the harder it is to get into that boat. So you got to play your cards right in that sense. So you can see here the shot of, I think that was Margate in the middle there in their green boat. You know, you can always spot them. You can see everybody's got their stroke rate up pretty high.
Yeah, that's a beautiful shot. And again, like we were saying, without a whole ton of wave action in the beginning, looks like most of the boats had a very clean start.
Oh, there's Ocean City. That's Frank Christie in the stern. That's a good friend of mine. I think this is his first time ever competing, so.
Oh, good luck to him.
Good luck to Frank.
Right into the fire, the South Jerseys.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And he's rowing with his bowman, Paul Boardman, tonight.
Yeah, so good luck out there, guys.
It's a pretty shot.
Beautiful South Jersey night here. Great night for racing. The spectators probably want, and the oarsmen probably want a little more activity out there, but it's pretty much rowing on a lake now, guys, for about 1.5 miles. So the first flags that you'll see them approach will be the singles flags, and that will be for the third event of the night. And it looks like we have a pretty good take on who's out in the lead. Looks like lane 14 by maybe half a boat.
Yep, looks like lane 14, that's Atlantic City, and right next to Atlantic City on the very end is Longport, lane 15. Both of those competitors have been very, very competitive this year. Rick and Sean Blair boys are from rowing the Atlantic City boat. Lane 14, that's the second to last boat at the top of your screen. And then you have Mike McGrath and Sean Duffy right next to them on the end. And it also looked like Margate was up. They're in lane 2. There we go. We have
Bob Bechtel. Right?
Yes. Bobby Bechtel.
And Chuck Gowdy.
That's what I was going to say. It looks like Chuck Gowdy.
Making their first rowing.
Yeah.
Chucky making his first rowing appearance of the summer. And I don't know if he's tied, but he's up there with David Funk for the most South Jersey doubles and singles titles. They're both in double digits, ladies and gentlemen.
He is. Actually, Chuck is up to 12. Dave is 10. So Chuck does have the little bit of an edge. And we'll see David Funk rowing later tonight in the singles race. But Chuck, a lot of experience.
For sure.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. We went to high school together. He's a very tough, strong rower, as is Bobby Bechtel, who won the singles in the Wildwood Hoffmans this year.
Nice.
And it is something, when you look at the top of the screen, it looks like Longport, the Host Beach Patrol in lane 15, and Atlantic City would be, I'd say, number 2 and number 1 right now.
Yeah. And it is tough. I mean, like we were saying, there's rowing right next to somebody. It really motivates you to keep going. You get that competitiveness rowing so closely next to someone who, is at your speed.
They have a nice controlled stroke rate right now, and it's not too high. You'll see that amp up a little bit once they turn that flag, as they approach the swim flag on the way out.
Yeah, still a very tight, it's going to be a long, hard-fought battle in this type of flat ocean tonight.
The experienced oarsmen and oarswomen, they want it choppy because it separates the men from the boys, the ladies from the girls. It really does.
Couldn't agree more. Especially since I'm not a young buck anymore. I will take any little bit of wave action or wind.
I have no problem being the third best rower at this table.
Yeah, it's a good shot right there, Margate. They're holding a steady pace with their stroke rate. As it pans over to some of the other lanes, I believe that.
And I think that's a shot from our shore cam. So our shore camera is really picking up some great footage right now.
Yes, it's nice that we can actually see beyond the singles flag tonight. That would be a nice, clear, sunny
no
day.
Fog. No fog. And it actually cooled down a bit, too. So, 2 pluses tonight for the weather out here.
How was that water running into the surf dash the other night?
It was chilly.
It was chilly.
It was chilly.
You ladies were very, very fast.
Yeah, so it does. It still looks like a pretty tight race across the board.
It looks like Brigantine with the young Savell brothers, coached by Senior Lieutenant Paul Savell and Brigantine in the orange boat. They're doing pretty well also.
Yeah,
we're doing a lot of legacy names in this race tonight.
There really is, yes. And that's so true of South Jersey in general. A lot of the families, myself included. My father was a lifeguard. My grandfather was a lifeguard. All of my siblings were lifeguards. It becomes like a family tradition. So there are quite a few of these competitors here. When it's in your blood, it's
in your blood.
hard to get rid of it.
Yeah,
Better off embracing it.
My 4-year-old the other day said, "Dad, I want to be a lifeguard." I'll tell you what, it did bring a tear to my eye. But I was very happy to hear that. As he should be. He's in the lifeguard stands and towers enough. Jeez.
Meg, were you guys all on the same patrol?
Yep, we were all. My brother Michael was. He was on Margate for a couple of years, and then he came over to Ventnor, and the rest of us were all Ventnor. My brother Michael actually won.
Yes, he did
South
a few years
Jerseys.
ago.
Yep.
Now, are you the only brother-sister combination that has won the South Jerseys?
I don't know. I feel like the Vince and Juliana Grenice may be up there as well.
It looks like Atlantic City may have opened up a boat length lead over Longport. And now, guys, age and experience will come into play, and they will be battling some youth. I think in the boat, I don't know, I think Sean and Michael are both in their mid to late 30s. The Blair brothers are much younger, and they are the grandsons of Atlantic City Beach Patrol and South Jersey legendary rower Boomer Blair, who was a really nice guy, by the way. I had the honor of having conversations with him over in Brigantine a few times. That's a great shot as they approach the 3/4 of a mile turn flag.
Yes.
And go ahead.
Sorry, no, I say that looks like Cape May or Wildwood. Wildwood boys, Brandon Joyce and Kanan Noon in that yellow boat. And here we have a great shot. You can see they're battling down there. Looks like Atlantic City and the light blue boat in the lead.
And Avalon might be up there too.
Yep. Avalon's been putting up a good fight this year.
They have, yeah. Gary Nagel and Dave Julian have had a really nice season in that Avalon crew.
And they won the Cape May County Championships
They did.
earlier in the year. And we have a lot of different patrols that have won out-of-town races this year. Avalon won the Cape May County Championships. I think they won the Dutch Hopkins.
They did, yes.
Longport won the Mike McGrath Longport Memorials. Atlantic City won the AC Classic. Brigantine won the Chief Coon races in Brigantine, amongst other patrols winning races out of town. But this, I would say, would be the Super Bowl of
Absolutely.
races.
Yeah.
And of
Yeah.
course, Margate won the Margates last week. Every point counts.
Yeah.
This is going to be a dogfight the entire way.
Absolutely. And especially with there's only 3 races.
Yeah.
So some of
so
the
quick.
other races we've had this summer, you might see surf dash or a paddleboard or some other relays involved. But the Margate Memorials and the South Jerseys have had these standard traditional 3 races for as long as I've been on, I believe.
Yeah. And you can see in that last shot, you can start seeing some of the boats picking up their strokes as they approach the flag. You see bowman turning around, looking for that flag. We were talking about being in the bow, you got to tell everybody how many strokes are left, and then say 20 strokes, and like, we're still not there.
Yes.
20 more.
Yep, I lied to my surman all the time.
Atlantic City has to make a correction here, unless they are turning. I guess they're turning north to south. The wind has
I think
changed.
they're turning south.
They're
looks like
turning
it. There's
north to
Atlantic
south.
City making that turn. And you'll notice here, for those of you watching at home, that's a really intricate part of the race when you want to make sure that you're approaching your flag on the correct side. So you can see there that they turned towards the right of your screen, which is a southern turn. And you have to make sure you're on the right side of your flag. You don't want to miss your flag.
Exactly.
And it's a bit of a push and a pull to get around that flag. You want to do it in the least amount of strokes as possible, and then just start to hammer it home on the way back.
And there they go. They are well into their section of the race where they are picking up the stroke rate. Longport Beach Patrol, 5-time defending South Jersey Championship patrol. Their doubles crew has never won a South Jersey title this leg of the event. It looks like down here also, Margate looks like they're back
It does.
into contention. And that would be, again, race legends, Chuck Gowdy, Bob Bechtel. Be very interesting to see.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see they're pretty much rowing their race all alone on that side of the course, whereas we have these 3 boats that are battling it out. So it'll be interesting to see as they get closer.
Yeah, lane selections are random. They literally pick from a hat. I know a lot of crews, if they had their way, they would row next to the ones who have been doing well all year.
Absolutely, and we have Cape May in that shot, Mike Fitzpatrick and Andrew Trefison trying to make a move. Looks like they're coming up a little bit on Avalon.
And Margate is really keeping their rate under control. Whereas when you look at the light blue boat of Atlantic City, they are jacking up that rate, as is Longport and Avalon. Now, interestingly enough, Avalon has, I don't want to say the swim favorite, but their swimmer is favored to win the swim. So any points that they can get would help them toward the team title. This is a really tight race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it must be hard for Margate all the way out there. They're kind of taken away from the action in the south side. And then there's one boat in the middle. I believe that might be Brigantine.
Yeah,
it does look like an orange boat. So the Savelle brothers, holding on to it.
Yeah, there's something to be said. I mean, I don't know. I almost kind of prefer being off on my own. I would almost rather be the Margate boat. I don't want to, because one other thing that can happen a lot, particularly when there's waves, but the worst thing to happen in one of these races, especially towards the end, is when you get locked up or jammed up or crash into each other. So I usually like to keep everybody away from me. Let me row my race.
Yeah, you can't.
Right there, they look a little close.
Yeah, they do look close from there.
As they are approaching the singles flag, there's a beautiful shot of Ocean City looking north from Longport, south toward Ocean City. And for those of you at home, they are a little beyond the singles flag. Once they get inside that, they will be able to hear the fans from each beach patrol screaming for them. Sometimes it is enough to get you to jack your rate up a little bit.
Absolutely. I will say thank God for that on Wednesday in that fog, because I could not see a thing. I definitely heard people before I could see any of them.
Once you turn around, row toward the voices.
Yep. And that's
There's
a beautiful,
great shot right there.
Beautiful aerial shot of the boys. They really do have such a smooth stroke. And it looks like those top five. And again, the point scoring here is first place gets 5 points, second place 4, 3, 2, and 1. So only the top 5 places will score in each event.
And Margate is throwing some wake. They really are.
Yeah, so it looks like Atlantic City, Longport, Margate, Avalon, and Brigantine perhaps are in that top 5 position. Looks like that next wave, we have Matt Spires and Charlie Murray from Ventnor. Looks like maybe the boys from Ocean City, Paul Boardsman and Frank Christie. And I think it was Cape May that looked like they were making a move up there as well. It's going to be tough here coming up on those singles flags.
Yeah, that's a swim flag right there. So that's where the swimmers will be swimming out right there, that red
double
and green.
Flag.
Yep.
Maybe an Italian said it with those beautiful red and green colors.
Yeah. Good eye, Fran.
Yeah.
Well, when your last name is Messino, you notice certain things like that.
Yeah, they make it look easy from this angle, but forearms are screaming.
Oh,
and I was talking about last time. I was wondering, Mike, do you use soap on your seat at all when you
don't.
race?
You know what? I heard you guys talking about that. I never have.
Yeah, I know some people do. Some people have their preferences.
They like that little bit of slide.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, you know what, to be honest, I feel like I learned how to row a lifeguard boat before I learned how to row a cruise shell.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I actually got in trouble more during crew, but they would say, Meg, stop rowing like you're rowing a lifeguard. But I used to erg like I'd row a lifeguard boat.
With like full back, yeah, because you put a lot more upper body into it rather than going up a full slide and a cruise shell. So it's a little bit different, but still the same concepts in a sense.
I was yelled at by Senior Lieutenant Mike Sluzinski once. He said, Fran, rowing is control, control, and control. And he was actually the first lifeguard ever to do the Ironman back in the 60s. He rowed doubles and then rowed singles in the Margates. And he was right, because I had too much on my seat, and I went sideways out on the sandbar of all places in a wave, and I got ejected right out of the boat.
Happens to the best of us. I've done it too. So now it looks like are they inside the singles flags?
Yes.
Yeah, they passed those singles flags. I'd say maybe like 20 strokes ago. So they're probably like maybe 30 strokes from shore.
Yeah, and then this is one of those, if you've seen anything, tight raced, these endurance type of races, this is really when you're, diving deep and just trying to pick up the stroke rate a bit, and just going to come down to you pray for a little bit of swell, which unfortunately there's not much here tonight, because I've seen many a race be won and lost on a wave. And there's a good shot of the Blair brothers, who look like they're still up there battling it out with Margate.
Yeah, throwing their From their back slow and following it with their arms and bringing it in, grabbing that water.
Yeah.
Longport is trying to make a
Yes.
move out there in lane 15. And again, every point counts.
And I know this is a big one for Sean and Mike. I'm sure they'd love to win
Really
this one,
is.
especially at home. But all three of these crews are dominant, tremendous athletes who have been working hard all summer. And this is, like you said, Fran, the Super Bowl of the summer for us down here in South Jersey. You can see them
this is a
approaching the
tight
score.
race.
Oh, this is going to be good.
You can see that there's 2 lifeguard stands in the water, and that's where the judges are standing. So they're not rowing all the way to shore. They're going to row to...
Margate has a little bit of a swell behind them. That could be the difference
Oh,
right now.
yes.
Trust
Yeah,
me,
you
these
can
guys
see
know
them
what they're
picking it
doing.
up.
That could be the difference maker right there. But it
Oh.
looks,
Wow.
but
I don't
Atlantic City
know.
too.
Atlantic City.
Looks like AC, maybe Margate Longport unofficially.
Yes. It
Looks like
a,
AC.
Oh, yeah, that's
You'll be able to tell because
definitely
it looks
AC.
like
You'll
tell by
Atlantic
the
City.
celebrating.
Wow.
Awesome.
That was a great comeback by those guys.
And that's what we were saying. You'd be amazed that the little bit of swell can really make or break, give you that little bit of a bump. It looks like Atlantic City capped on that swell, and Margate and Longport missed it.
And I know the Blair family is elated right now, and all of Atlantic City Beach Patrol. I know their dad and their Annie Lane. I'm just elated for those guys.
It looks like Kate
For
May
all the
coming
rowers.
through, and my boys in Ventnor, Matt Spires and Charlie Murray, finishing up on shore.
And it's great to see the older crews and the younger crews doing so well tonight.
Yeah.
Could you tell who got second?
It was neck and neck between Margate and Longport.
I think it might have been Margate.
I think it was Margate too.
But we'll get official scoring by one of the officials.
And by
And-
the way, we actually have video footage if they need to go to an instant replay. to tell.
Instant replay.
We are stepping our game up here in 2022.
Yeah, we got all the special technology. But
There
yeah,
goes
that's
some of the rowers going out and cooling
Cooling off.
down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you from experience, that is a long, hot row. And you are
Yes.
using every muscle of your body. Here we go.
Because it looks like Atlantic City
See a little bit of the
and
replay.
Margate.
So there's, you see that lifeguard stand at the top. Looks like Atlantic City's crossing. And Margate and Longport very closely behind.